YouTubers versus TikTokers, and all YouTube boxing I kind of want to talk about and brief up on. Alright, so there is a lot being kind of going on with people jabbing back and forth, and there's a lot of people who want to fight and take this thing kind of seriously. Well, let's be honest, all of it is for money. They're just doing it plainly for money, and they don't really care about the experience. Maybe they're going to gain a little bit of clout while they can, and obviously that clout then turns into extra money. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people need to understand that a lot of these, you see, TikToks and stuff, a lot of them, talk a lot of shit and stuff like that. And, can't back it up. Like Bryce Hall, we all knew what happened to him. The kid got rocked, and he literally got shut up. In other words, plain as day, got shut up, and he got humbled. He humbled so quickly, so quickly. Funny as fuck why he got humbled so fast, but yeah, straight away. He was hugging fucking Austin McBroom and everything. And he was even seen hugging Deji in a leaked, was it a leaked video? I don't know. It was on TikTok, and then it started surfacing on Twitter. So there's a lot going on within the sense of people boxing. Boxing, YouTube boxing especially, is kind of growing. It's getting bigger. There's more people doing it now. There's more YouTubers giving it a go and wanting to, raise their clout levels and get up high. So I really do hope things take a serious toll, and things go well for these YouTubers, because they're gonna probably need to pay for their fucking bills when they're knocked out and shit. So I mean, that's going to be very unfortunate for them. But there's been some kind of talks about YouTubers versus TikTokers too. Now, I'm not too sure how confirmed this is. Austin McBroom did post a video one of the videos was like a picture of just like the logo and stuff, and saying coming soon. Now, a lot of people are like, wait, what's going on? Is there going to be a TikTok YouTubers versus TikTokers fight soon? Is this going to be the next thing? Is it going to have enough hype as before? And apparently, these are some people with what Keemstar has done. As a matter of fact, I think he got the sources. I don't know. This is what he said. Who may be actually fighting on the card, and this is pretty surprising who we may see fighting on the card. So apparently this is what obviously Keemstar said. Austin versus KSI. That'd be a perfect roundup. I think they already are fighting. So that'll be a very good thing to see, and hopefully that is something that we do see. Maybe some sparring footage from KSI, because we haven't really seen him do a lot of shit. Really, we haven't seen him fight in nearly 2 years now. Well, I think it is 2 years. No. It's coming up. It's 2 years. I think it's like a year still. But yeah, it is crazy how KSI has kind of gone from that. He is always bragging that he's undefeated and stuff. And this is kind of a scary thing for KSI as well, is if he loses, the amount of shit he's chatted to all sorts of people, Logan, Jake Paul, many more people, this will maybe not end his career, but he will be clowned for centuries. The amount of people that are going to clown KSI for losing the fight, it will be incredible. And I don't know, it's gonna shock me if he does. I don't think he will. I think he's definitely gonna make sure he doesn't lose, because he knows what the potential he's got if he does lose. Yes, he's not gonna essentially ruin his career, but the amount of shit he has chatting along the way, like, I'm gonna knock you out, Bryce. And he even took a dig and said he would knock everyone out on the YouTubers versus TikTokers fight. So I really do hope he doesn't lose this and he takes this shit seriously. And I mean, I know he's not like Deji, and they did upload a video together, like the reunion, and they talked about it. And KSI did put very good points up to Deji, and told him, you need to take this shit seriously, because obviously he didn't take this shit seriously. He he let a thirst trap, a TikTok thirst trap, completely annihilate him. And that's what I'm like, come on, Deji. And you know what? Going into that, I was like, you know what? Maybe him being fat, it might not fuck him up. He may still have the stamina. No, he far from had the stamina, to be honest. He got rocked completely, even with all that stamina that he sort of had. He got rocked with it and slapped down. And I think that's kind of a lesson to learn when you're doing your boxing, is don't go to a gym that's shit. I think he went to a gym that was playing about. I know there was like footage of them all messing about in the changing room, and he did say that he started training full-time training a week before the fight. Now, if that doesn't tell you he's unprepared, I don't know what will. You know, he's fucking hell. That's some unprepared shit right there. I don't know why he did that, or why he thought that would be a good idea to train a week before the fight. I don't know what he thought he would get out of that, but he failed nonetheless. He got rocked the shit up, ended by someone who just said they wanted to do it for the money. So it was kind of embarrassing for Deji. I mean, the guy wants to take this shit seriously, and I can understand that he wants to take this shit seriously, but you can't take this shit seriously if you're not gonna, train seriously and, build up your stamina and get that shit serious. Because at the moment, it just looks like you just want to play around with it. I don't know. It just seems like you don't give a shit, and you don't bother putting your full stamina into it. So I do hope that, this fight against Austin McBroom, if it goes against it, I hope Deji's on this card. Maybe he's not on this card. But yeah, I hope Deji really is, taking a step back from YouTube and his social media life, and just, teaching himself, and that, to be a good boxer, you need to put your time and your effort in it. The next one is Vinny versus Gib. That was said to happen. Now, that would be a good fight, I know Vinny, if Vinny keeps doing what he's doing, he may potentially be able to rock the shit out of Gib. I mean, who knows? I don't know, maybe I think Gib's going to have it. What Gib needs to do now is he needs to keep the same as he's going to keep. He needs to keep doing the same shit he's going to keep doing and stop messing about. That Jake Paul fight, I think that was his first fight. No, that was his second fight. I think it was his first official fight though. And everyone was like, "Oh, Gib's gonna knock him out." Gib got slapped. I don't know why. I don't think he was trained enough. I genuinely don't think he was at that point where he was like, "Yes, I'm gonna, go out there. I'm at the point now where I think he was a bit like Deji. Not the sense that his trainer's shit, but in the sense that he definitely took his time with things and stuff like that, and he was a little bit stiff. But I'm glad, that Gibbs kind of redeemed himself from that, and taken himself and bang pushed himself in it. So that'd be quite a close fight, that Gibb versus Vinny. And I really do hope Deji is on this card. This is what Keemstar's just said, so I don't know if this is fully confirmed or anything. So, Keemstar can be known for a bit of bluff now and again, so, I mean, who knows? Who knows if this is fully legit? The next one is Bryce versus Deji. Now, that would be a good fight, but if Deji gets beaten again, this is kind of the last thing we want from Deji, is to get beaten again. I'll say it how it is. I think if Deji loses this, stop boxing. Stop taking it seriously. It ain't working. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work like that. I really hope he doesn't, get fucked up. But it's hard to say. If he hasn't taken this fight seriously, I don't know. I really do. It definitely looks like his key, but I know he did the exact same thing in 2018 with the Jake Paul fight. I think KSI said that he was struggling. He was kind of off his diet. He didn't really care, and that's why he lost that fight ultimately. And that was like that was Jake Paul's first ever fight. You know, that was their first ever thing. You know, um, and I genuinely think you could have taken Jake down there and stopped and halted his career. If Jake would have lost, I think he would have been humbled like Bryce, and it maybe will be humbled. I know. Isn't it funny? Every fighter that's lost, every fucking fighter that's lost, whether it beat Logan Paul. Now, although Logan Paul in like the first day, he was like, "Oh no," he couldn't believe that he lost. He was kind of shocked. I'm not saying Logan is a brilliant boxer. I think he's very good. Yeah, he did lose. He did actually knock KSI down. Obviously, KSI was like, "Nah, man, you're not taking me fully down. I'm gonna get back up." I don't know if it was a legal punch, so I'm not too sure if he was let off with an illegal punch. There are more people as well. Let me just get the list up to have a look who we have got. We have got DDG versus Jarvis. DDG obviously has, I'm pretty sure he's retired completely from YouTube, so he's kind of taken his stance on music seriously, and he wants to get this stuff done. So I'm guessing that's fair enough. Respect to him, deadass respect to him. I think he's done a great job. This guy, obviously, he's done this fight for, I'm guessing he's done it for credibility, and to get himself out there and get a bit of clout while he's at it. So, I think we can all say that DDG is definitely going to put up a front against Jarvis. Jarvis, obviously, a lot of people were like, he's not going to do this. I kind of doubted him at first. But, I actually think, Jarvis may fuck DDG up. But, that may be a close call. I know a lot of people are very happy to see DDG, hopefully. Like I said, these are all claimed by Keemstar. I don't know if these are actually true. Apparently, his sources told him. I don't know what his sources are, and I don't know how true they are. So these could be predictions to say maybe who their next people are they want to get in. Now, I have a little thing to nitpick about Social Gloves. I don't think Social Gloves are a very good company when it comes to promotion of boxing fights. We've already seen them kind of, already rob Gibb from his win. I don't know. The fact that as well you have to have people singing and stuff. It's like you don't really want this. I mean, you've got Lil Baby. I think we had Lil Baby. Who else was there? I think DJ Khaled and the Migos, and I think other people, which kind of annoyed a lot of people. They were fed up. They paid for a boxing. They paid $50 for a boxing match, and they kind of got out with a concert more than a boxing match. And the thing is, they fucked up even the audio for the singers. So, I mean, we're Lil Baby. We're literally rapping to nothing. Obviously, they cut his music off. I think they did it to the Migos as well, and DJ Khaled. I know he was. It's like reliving the whole ninja thing again. We don't want to go. We don't want to really go back to the old days when Ninja, obviously did his little crowd and completely failed. We all know the feeling of that. So yes, I do think that. These boxing matches are great, and the very two last opponents are Landon. I think it's Austin McBroom's brother, Landon McBroom, and Joe fucking Weller. if this is true and Joe is completely gonna be doing this again, props to him. The guy who started it, we can't be having him just quitting like that. And I think after that fight with, what do you call it? Was it KSI? That's it. He kind of just taught us like where did Jake actually go? I mean, he obviously clowned himself with Jake. Did I say Jake? No, I mean Joe Weller. Joe Weller clowned himself with the whole Jake Paul incident. I think in 2019 was it like July or something. He obviously went to Jake Paul's house and got clowned. Obviously, they filmed him doing like a music video, and they said, "I'm gonna knock." Let's just be honest. He got absolutely roasted. It was an embarrassing time for the people of everything, and I hate to say it, but yeah, that's why Joe Weller kind of slipped himself down. But I'm glad to see, if this is true, glad to see him come back. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about Logan Paul's next opponent as well. And it is kind of something to think about. Is Logan going to take this shit seriously? I think he is, I think he's actually going to bring himself back and revive himself, because before this, obviously, he was like KSI. He was being dormant. He hasn't really talked about much. And obviously, he released this fight. We already knew it was going to happen, but it got cancelled. So it's kind of out there now. But who really knows what's actually going to happen? Who really knows how much full effect this is going to have? But I am really, really happy to see that whoever's... now, there has been rumoured that his next opponent may be Mike Tyson. Now, just a little talk about that. Yeah, Logan Paul's getting rocked. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We knew that Mike Tyson in his heyday was a fucking god. Obviously, the guy was bang, bang, bang. I mean, if he punched a door, his fist would go completely straight through it. Straight through it. If he punched fucking metal, obviously he used a glove or something to kind of balance that impact out or break his fucking knuckles. But if he punched metal with a glove, he probably could potentially bend that shit. I mean, he's got some powerful punches. Obviously, I think it's probably going to be an expedition again. So I don't really think it's going to be that serious, that bad. But I mean, I don't know who really knows the future of Logan Paul's boxing career. Maybe it'll be bad. Maybe it'll be good. I'm hoping that his career does take a full turn and do completely well. So I guess it's just something that people really need to think about. What is Logan Paul's next turn, and what is he going to ultimately do next, or is he just going to continue his life how he is now, or is he going to get in the ring with a big opponent? Now, I mean, obviously that Floyd fight was kind of a little bit of it was like a hit and miss. People were like, yeah, it was okay, but it wasn't. It was a slice in the middle. It was okay fight. I mean, we did obviously see that Logan did get knocked out. It's quite clear to see he got knocked the fuck out. It's not hard to fucking see. And obviously, Floyd picked him back, or like holding on to him to stop him falling over. A lot of people were like, nah, it wasn't. But I think Floyd was like, oh shit, yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna be slowly here, because let's be honest, if this was an actual real thing, Floyd would have rocked him. Floyd would have just rocked him if it was real. If this one an expedition, and that's why it was an expedition, because Floyd was like, well, if it's a real fight, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. Let's be honest, I just want my money and fuck off, and then just waste all my money until I need to pay another debt, and then I'll come back to you again. We'll fight again. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. But yeah, Jake Paul's next opponents. they haven't been kind of really talked about what Jake is going to do, who's his next opponents. A lot of people are saying that Tyron Woodley obviously is confirmed fight, but on about what's going to happen after that. Is he going to continue? If he gets beaten up, we obviously know what's going to go on. We obviously know that Tyron Woodley is probably either going to, well, he's going to get knocked out, isn't he? That's how it fucking happens, doesn't it? Tyron Woodley just gets smacked, and then Jake Paul wins another match, a professional match. And obviously he's getting the credibility of fighting these UFC stars because they are professional fighters, so you can go out there and say, well, I fought someone professional, but then you look at them and they're like, well, they're UFC stars, so they're not really going to have as much stuff in boxing, UFC is a bit different from boxing, the way you can move, a lot of the movements you can use and stuff like that. So, but then again, a lot of it can be applied in boxing. So I don't know. I think Tyron Woodley's lost all of his fights recently, so I don't know if that could be a downplay against him, but I'm hoping Jake Paul does get humbled, because we obviously have seen Bryce Hall and Tyler Alder get humbled. And, the KSI beef as well. I am really wanting to see Jake and KSI, and a lot of people are wanting to see that. But I think KSI... The thing about this fight with him and Austin McBroom, let's be real. If he beats Austin McBroom, this just gives Jake Paul another excuse to dodge. No, I don't know if Jake did tweet out something about KSI. Let me have a look actually. Jake. His name's Paul on Twitter. I think he did. Yeah, he did. He did. Lol. KSI imaginally jumping at the opportunity to fight Austin. I guess music, tours, and COVID were the only thing. So pretty much he's like clowning on KSI now because obviously he's picked the fight against Austin McBroom instead of fighting KSI. We obviously know that Jake Paul's ducking as well. They're both ducking, let's be honest. I think they're both ducking. They're both like, I know KSI is a bit hesitant. And I know he's not going to admit it, but I get it. In his mind, he's thinking, well, I'm not scared of Jake, but also this guy could try and do some dirty move on me. Not illegal punches, but, he could try and do something, one-up me or anything. And I don't really want to get cleaned out and embarrassed in front of a shit ton of people. So, maybe they are both ducking. Or maybe they've got something worked out with their managers. Their teams are talking back to each other. I'm not too sure. But if there was a fight, it may be they did somehow. And we don't even know when there's TikTokers versus... no, it's actually called US versus UK now. So I know I mentioned before TikTokers versus YouTubers too, but I think I have seen a photo recently, because obviously this is in parts now. This is previous. I'm recording this a few hours later, where obviously it was hopefully will be the US versus UK fight. So this is going to be quite a good fight. I know Jake Paul, he's kind of pissed off that maybe he isn't involved in this, but he's got his fight coming up. So, I mean, if he takes this opportunity and beats Tyrone, I definitely think KSI should fight him. I think this music tour, he should postpone that. He should. I think, KSI's got too involved with his music career. I don't think he wants to fight. And I kind of getting on like, come on, KSI, you really do want to fight, That's the only thing people really know KSI for now, a boxer and a YouTuber, and kind of a music guy on the side. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has released a really nice song recently. I think it's Holiday, which is very good. But, we have seen, obviously, some good bangers from both of them. Well, Jake Paul has actually had some pretty good bangers. Well, one straight out of, I think it was straight out of London or something, whatever it was called. Pretty good song, that. I think apparently it was ghostwritten, so oh shit, that doesn't help, does it? So I don't know, but obviously, Jake's kind of clowning KSI, saying, well, you kind of picked the opportunity and you kind of fucked it. But yeah, I am very shocked at the fact that this is happening. God, this is something that's very shocking. If we do see them two fighting, if KSI does lose against Jake, think about, like I said earlier, I said, KSI's got a lot against him. If he loses to any of his opponents, really, the amount of clowning he would get. If he lost to Austin McBroom, this is Austin's big chance to fuck KSI up. This is Austin's big chance to take KSI's redemption from him. And if he does that, Austin, that's going to be a sweet one. I like KSI, but I do want to see what would actually happen, how the internet would react if KSI did lose and get boxed in. That would be a really good thing to see. So I'm kind of patiently waiting on that. What the future holds with that, but I don't know. I'm hoping it is a good future. We've got a lot of these YouTubers versus fucking whoever. I know it's not really YouTube boxing anymore, is it? Because I remember when, I think loads of women now, TikTokers, are coming out now and saying they want to box this person and this and that. It's just fucking getting crazy. The amount of people now, because they've seen the amount of success that Jake Paul and all these YouTubers are getting, all the women's sides. Now, obviously, I don't think women can fight men in boxing. I could be wrong though. I haven't seen an official fight where a woman against a man, but I mean, I could be wrong. But obviously, yes, Jake is clowning the fuck out of everyone, which kind of find funny. So yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time before we see if Jake's gonna lose his. Like I said, if Jake loses his fight, this is kind of like KSI's there's no real point in me fighting him, is there? I think he should still fight him either way. Finish that motherfucker off. Humble him. I guarantee you, either he'll be really humbled after the fight, Jake, or he will just continue to absolutely clown and call it scripted, and he's probably going to come out with his own shit. I know there's an old video out there of him saying these fights are staged and stuff like that. I don't know how true he is to saying that, these fights are staged, but, I mean, he came out pretty openly with it, so, I mean, hopefully he's not real with it, but, I don't know, it's, obviously he's just tweeted out, as a father myself, today means a lot to me, even though they've all lost my son. So now he's just clowning on, obviously, Ben Askren, he's clowning on Conor McGregor, Daniel Corman, and Usman. I like how he's clowning on them all. Would he get knocked out? Obviously, Usman would probably sleep Jake. Ben Askren, I don't know why. I mean, Ben Askren literally looked like fucking Jake in the fight. Unfortunate for you, Ben. You are a very nice guy. I can't lie. You're a very nice guy. From just how you talked on the Logan Paul podcast. Vinny Hacker's getting a lot of praise from people, which is, you like to see. It's good to see. But yeah, I really do hope the future of this YouTube boxing does take its serious note, and people actually are happy when it comes to a lot of this stuff, because I am ready to see some blood from these boxers. I'm ready to see their redemption in the future. So yeah, that's really all I've got to speak about. I don't want to ramble on too much. I know I've rambled on for nearly half an hour talking about this stuff. But yeah, I really do hope the YouTubers or whoever's fighting, not just YouTubers, TikToks as well, or other platform, Twitters, Twitch streamers. I know we've got that's something I forgot to mention. We've got Aiden Ross, a huge Twitch streamer at the moment. I think he plays NBA and stuff. He's fucking got crazy celebrities coming over his house. I don't know how he's pulling it. I don't know how I think he's got deals with Travis Scott, apparently, what FaZe Banks leaked, and stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy to see that, I think Aiden Ross and I think it's FaZe Rug. So, I mean, they don't have beef. I think it's an expedition. I think Aiden Ross just wants to test the waters. I know he did a stream with Logan Paul, and they kind of had a clown around before Logan's fight, and it actually was a pretty humble thing, to be fair. So, I mean, both of them, Logan Paul, brilliant guy. I think, Jake Paul is a good guy, but he just does his little clowning on the internet because he knows that he'll get under, Conor McGregor's skin and other people's skin. So, yeah, that's really, like I said, that's all I've got. But, hopefully the future of this, little thing I'm going to say before I go, it's obviously most of these YouTubers and stuff are using this as a life support for boxing. They don't actually give a shit about it. They just want to keep this going until it obviously dies, and once boxing dies, they'll move on to another thing. I know a lot of them are doing OnlyFans, which is like, what the fuck? So, yeah, hopefully upcoming fights are good, but don't get clowned.